head of litigation for the Immigration Reform Law Institute tells One American News that within months, the courts may also force Biden administration officials to continue building the wall along the southern border. Here's One America's John Hines.
Chris Hajec, as Director of Litigation for the Immigration Reform Law Institute, you are involved in a legal push to get the wall built on the southern border. And in fact, although construction of the wall was stopped by the Biden administration, court action very much could force it to be finished. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. A case is being brought by Missouri and the states of Missouri and Texas to force Biden to build the wall. And we are assisting in that case, supporting those states.
And you have actually filed an amicus brief in conjunction with this case. Missouri and Texas both are suing the Biden administration. And so essentially what happened here is that Congress took some actions. The Biden administration appears to be countermanding those actions. Is that what is at issue here?
Yes, Congress passed an appropriation mandating that the wall be built. And the president took an oath to enforce the law, and he's not doing it. The lawsuit is to get an injunction forcing him to do that.
And so this has been filed in which court?
In a Texas federal district court.
And what is the so-called take care clause, and why is it relevant here? Supposedly the executive is supposed to take care to enforce laws. Tell us about that and why it's relevant here.
Well, that's in the Constitution. I mean, the founders thought it very important that the president not be able to, or the executive branch not be able to suspend laws as kings had done in England before. And even in England, the kings were no longer allowed to do that. They had to follow the law. And so they made sure that the president has to follow the law. And the executive branch has to follow the law. And it must take care that the laws be faithfully, to see that the laws be faithfully executed.
You mentioned separation of powers. Is there a separation of power argument here? And if so, are these states on solid ground in suing the Biden administration?
Yes, there definitely is. It's in our system, and the Supreme Court said this numerous times, Congress makes the laws, and the president is involved in that. He signs the laws unless his veto is overridden. And the presidents are under the law, and administrations are under the law, and they have to execute it, even if they don't like it.
So the Biden administration, the Congress back in 2019 passed, I guess, an appropriations measure, appropriating expenditures for the wall, and they acted. And so essentially what has happened is that the Biden administration is ignoring an act of Congress, correct?
That's exactly right, John.
And this case has been filed in a court in Texas, I gather. When are there arguments, and when would there be some sort of disposition?
In a short time.
Matter of months, weeks?
Weeks, and then weeks or months, and then
it'll probably be appealed.
It would be appealed by either side to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals,
which is based, I think you mentioned, in Louisiana, New Orleans. Is that right?
Yes, that's where it is. And
the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals is well known, I guess, or recognized for being somewhat more, I guess, conservative friendly compared to, say, for instance, the Ninth Circuit. Is that right?
Yes, the Fifth Circuit is a pretty solid court for the pro-enforcement immigration issue.
So it's conceivable that this policy, the Biden administration's policy of not building the wall, could be overturned by the Fifth Circuit Court in, what, a matter of months?
Yes.
And so we could be back to building the wall, conceivably, in a matter of months.
Right. And the reason would be that the courts have to step in to protect our constitutional system.
Chris Hajec, the Director of Litigation for the Immigration Reform Law Institute, thank you for joining us to talk about getting the wall going again here on One American News.
Thank you.